Hello and welcome to 4-2. Today we're going to be talking about factors and prime factorization. Our goal for today is you'll be able to write prime factorizations of composite numbers. Now, this is a new topic here that we're starting to talk about, but it's not really, hopefully, I'll be able to explain it in a way that it won't be so confusing. So if we look at our top number here, 72, I can say I know that 72 is 9 times 8. So I break 72 apart into 9 times 8. And then I say I know 9 is 3 times 3. And these are prime numbers, so I'm going to circle them. Then I'm going to say I know 8 is 2 times 4. 2 is a prime number. We remember prime numbers can only be gotten to if you multiply itself by 1. So 3 and 2 are both prime numbers. Now 4 I can break into 2 times 2, and so then we'll circle those two 2's because they are both prime. So if I was going to write the prime factorization of 72, I would write it like, well, I want to write my answer from the smallest number to the biggest number. So I could write 2 times 2 times 2, and I'll cross them off after I'm done so I don't write too many, times 3 times 3. Now another way we could write this is 2 to the third power, because I have 3 2's, times 3 to the second power, because I have 2 3's that I'm multiplying together. So you could write your answer like this, or using exponents. Now next year, this is the way you will write your answers, using exponents and starting from the least number to the greatest number. But in the future, for practicing right now, we could write it all out, or final one, do it in exponent form. Anyways, let's get moving and do some problems. Alright, so first off, it's asking us to list all the factors of each number. Now, if we remember back to what is a factor, it's just two numbers that multiply together to get a product, or the answer to a multiplication. So example, if I have the number 18, I could break that up into, let's kind of group them together, so I could do 1 times 18. I could do 6. 6 goes in there, 6 times 3. 9 times 2 is another one. So now I'll say, does 4 go in there? Well, no. Does 5? No. 6? I already have. 7? No. 8? No. 9? Yes, I already have it. Okay, so that is where we're at then. So all the factors of this number are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. So whenever we make a list like this, we want to make sure when we write our final answer down, we organize our numbers from least to greatest. So again, this one, 18, would be called a composite. It's not asking us to do that, but I just wanted to remind you. A composite is a composite number is a number that has more than 2 factors. Like 13. The only way to get to 13 is doing 1 times 13. And so that makes this number a prime number. So if I'm going to list these, are just 1 and 13. And this number would be prime because the only way to get to it is multiplying 1 and itself. Alright, so we'll do a couple problems like this in our assignment, and then we'll get to the actual prime factorization. Let's look at a few vocabulary words here. So just to review again, we have factors. These are called factors, and this is the product. And then we have prime factorization. So that's where we break a number into the factors. Remember, these are factors that multiply together to make it that are prime. So we want to get it makes sense with the name. Prime, we know what a prime is. Factor, we know what a factor is. Then we just add the little ization on the end. So it kind of explains itself. There's going to be a lot of new vocabulary words and a lot of new concepts. So I highly recommend writing prime factorization into your notebook and writing an example in your notebook so you remember, because it's going to be a lot of new things, and on the test you're going to be asked to prime factorize this number. And so if you don't remember which one it is, then it's going to be really hard for you to get, remember. I mean, the name kind of tells what it is, but so please make sure you write down what is prime factorization and do an example below it. All right, we're ready to prime factorize. All right, so the trick with prime factorization, I have 36 and I know 2 can go in there. But if I can find bigger numbers like 4 and 9 or 6 and 6, if I can find bigger numbers that go into it, I won't have so many numbers to work with. So let's go 6 and 6. And then none of those are prime, so I don't want to circle them. Then this is 2 times 3. Both of those are prime. And this 6 is 2 times 3. Those are both prime. Okay, so my answer would be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, or 2 to the second power times 3 to the second power. All right, let's do 54. Now, 54 is 9 times 6. You can see we're knowing your multiplication facts are really going to come in handy. But you can always use a multiplication chart in class if you're not quite as strong in those to work towards becoming stronger in it. So I can do 9 times 6. 9 is 3 times 3. Both of those are prime. And 6 is 2 times 3. Both of those are prime. So you can see once it becomes a prime number, then we want to circle it because that's going to be part of our answer. Okay, so I could say my prime factorization is 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. I'm just getting these numbers here, 2, 3, 3, 3. Or I could say 2 times 3 to the third power because there are 3 threes that we're multiplying together right here. All right, now that is all that I have for you for today. So we'll just give a little practice at school tomorrow. And this comes in really handy for a lot of things, not just saying, oh, it's the prime factorization. It'll come in really, really, really handy in the future. So make sure if you have any questions tomorrow, please ask me. All right, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.